Hello and welcome to Talking Points here on France 24. Lebanon has a new prime minister, Najib Mikati. More importantly, he is leading a coalition including Hezbollah, which has prompted violent clashes with supporters of the pro-Western outgoing Prime Minister Saad Hariri. Mikati claims he's a man of dialogue and consensus, but some see him as a strawman not only for Hezbollah, but also for its sponsors, Syria and Iran. So are we witnessing a sea change in Lebanese politics and maybe in the dynamics of the whole region? With me on the set to discuss the issue is Georges Malbruno, who's a senior correspondent and Middle East specialist for the daily Le Figaro. Hello and welcome. Also on the set, Ziad Majed, who's an instructor of Middle East Studies at the American University of Paris. Hello and welcome to you too. Georges Malbruno, is this really a revolution in Lebanese politics or is it something different?
No, it's an evolution which was foreseeable because I think everybody, even in France, in the West, knew that Saad Hariri couldn't be the prime minister who will bury the investigation about his father. This is a cruel realpolitik because now we have Hezbollah supporting the new prime minister. And but we have to look what Najib Mikati said yesterday. He said three very interesting things. At first, the tribunal will go on, which is a very important statement for the international community. The inculpations, the indictment will not stop. First. Secondly, he said that the resistance is sacred. We don't like that in Paris, in Washington, but we have to adapt with that.
The resistance being a code word for Hezbollah.
For Hezbollah, okay. And third thing, he said that the cooperation between the new government of Beirut, and the tribunal, it's another question. That's the main issue now. Most probably, Najib Mikati and the pressure of the Syrians, the Hezbollah, will have to stop the cooperation with the tribunal. But everybody now has to save his face in order to get out from this crisis. And I think that for now, Najib Mikati is perhaps the best solution in order to avoid chaos in Lebanon, even though the most important risk now is Hezbollah and its supporters will not stop their claim with the Mikati being appointed as prime minister. They will ask for an epuration of the Hariri time, and that's the most important and most dangerous threat in Lebanon for the coming weeks and months.
Okay, so just for our viewers, as is usual in Lebanon, Mr. Mikati is a Sunni because the prime minister has to be a Sunni. He's backed by Hezbollah, and as Georges Malbruno pointed out, the very first challenge is the special tribunal on Lebanon, which is about to issue indictments against Hezbollah members or sympathizers. Hezbollah has said it doesn't want to cooperate, even recuse the tribunal. He will be forced to make a decision very soon.
Definitely. I think this is a great challenge that he will face. I think there is a certain agenda on which he might have agreed, which is to stop Lebanon's cooperation with the International Tribunal. But this will not end neither the investigation nor the process of the indictments and probably of the tribunal itself. But even to cancel Lebanon's cooperation by cancelling the protocol of cooperation, by stopping the funds, and by withdrawing the Lebanese judges who are part of the tribunal won't be an easy task. It will be considered as a provocation for a large part of the Lebanese population, not only for the Sunni community that considers the appointment of Mikati, regardless of his qualities, as being a choice imposed by Hezbollah on the Lebanese and on the Sunni specifically, but also it will be a provocation for lots of Lebanese who consider that for the first time there is a chance of dealing with political assassinations that killed in Lebanon tens of people, not only Prime Minister Hariri, but before Hariri and after Hariri, and especially after him, lots of intellectuals, deputies, ministers, etc. So I think there are lots of issues that Mikati has to deal with, and there is no easy solution. And I agree with most of what George was saying, but I'm not sure that it was the perfect solution or the best solution. I think in the
You
Lebanese...
didn't say perfect.
No,
There's
you said
solution
your
in
best,
Lebanon. Best of the worst,
possible
among the worst.
solution, let's say. Even this, I'm not sure it's the case, because in the Lebanese confessional system and in the Lebanese consociational system, where each post is supposed to be allocated to one community, bringing someone with the support of another community against the will of the majority of his own community. And let's remember that Hariri, all MPs, Sunni MPs in the Lebanese parliament, 27, their number, 24 of them were elected on the list of Hariri's, including Mikati himself. So here you have someone from outside this bloc, Hezbollah, representing the majority of the Shiites, imposing someone who was part of Hariri's alliance during the elections against Hezbollah and bringing him as prime minister. This was felt as a kind of nouveauté in the Lebanese politics, where usually communities respect the limits of their relationship with the other. And this will continue, I think, provoking lots of tension in the street. And I'm really afraid of that, of the consequences of that.
Right.
Especially, sorry, and I will finish here, that Hezbollah used a kind of symbolic violence to bring Walid Jumblat's bloc to his alliance, to the alliance of the party, by deploying few days before the consultations, hundreds of its fighters without their weapon, to say that if our choice is not accepted, then you will have to assume the consequences that might be violent, which led Jumblat and many of his deputies to prefer to join the alliance of Hezbollah rather than seeing street violence or clashes as it happened in May 2008.
Right. So just for our viewers, obviously the key to what happened in recent weeks was the fact that Walid Jumblat, the historic leader of the Druze community, switched sides and decided to lend his support for Hezbollah, maybe under pressure. The big question is now Hezbollah in charge of Lebanese politics? I mean, Mikati can say he's an independent, he's a wealthy businessman, he's a Sunni, and so on. But the question many people are asking, and I'm sure many diplomats, especially in Western countries, is it Hezbollah now in control of Lebanon?
Hezbollah will be more in control of Lebanon than before. There is a red line for Hezbollah is resistance. What is they call the resistance. And it's not by random that Najib Mikati said yesterday that's it's a red line. But it was also a red line for Michel Sleiman, the president of Lebanon.
Which
don't
concretely means you cannot disarm Hezbollah.
You cannot disarm Hezbollah, whether you like it or not. We don't like it in Paris, in Washington, but you can't disarm Hezbollah. So for Hezbollah, it's a red line to be in front of Israel, and that's a red line. Hezbollah doesn't want to rule Lebanon; they want to control the Lebanon politics.
And now they do.
Now they are in position to do it. I'm sure that they will do it with some kind of compromise, because they know also, I think, their limits. And Hezbollah has no interest now to come back to the situation in May 2008, to take the streets of Beirut, to resort to violence. So they manage. This scenario was written 5 months ago. We saw the increasing position of Hezbollah, increasing intimidation of Hezbollah. And if we talked with the diplomats, even French diplomats or others, said Sadari will have to take this new situation in consideration. And nobody wants Lebanon to come back to violence. So what I wrote this morning in Le Figaro, it's a cruel realpolitik. But Najib Mikati could be the guy who can gather the fragile puzzle in Lebanon.
But how does it work? I mean, let's say the immediate challenge, the indictments of the special tribunal. Everybody said, you wrote about it at length, that Hezbollah people will be targeted. Hezbollah has said will cut the hands of those who, will collaborate.
Just for one, it's a matter also to save face for everybody. The international community, which created the tribunal, now has to see the tribunal continuing his work. And the tribunal will continue his work. And Najib Mikati yesterday said the tribunal will indict people. But Lebanon now will say, okay, we don't want to cooperate. It will create some kind of conflict, but it has been already integrated in the mind of the diplomats. They will find others, people or the states to finance instead of Hezbollah, and we'll have a trial in September or October by abstentia. But the key issue is nobody will go and try to arrest Hezbollah guys.
Right. I mean,
First, let's put different scenarios. Probably there will be indictments, there will be some names of members or of individuals who are affiliated to the party or close to the party. But in any case, the tribunal was clear from the beginning. If there are individuals or members accused, this will not mean that the group is accused, nor that a certain state is accused. Hezbollah's position is that we will not cooperate. We consider this is an Israeli conspiracy, this is an American plan, etc. So they will say, we will defend any individual whose name is listed. The Lebanese government might say, we can't do anything, we cannot deliver these people. Maybe some of these people are not there anymore. Who knows where they are? So the international community will start the tribunal in absentia without the presence of those who are accused. The question is then, are there any other information or will there be any work on the chain of commandment? Who gave the order? And this will definitely bring, in that case, regional actors, not only Lebanese operators. Maybe we will bring the Syrian regime, maybe there are some connections to Iran. And this will create a regional tension, let's say, or a different perspective towards international relations within the region. That will have consequences and implications in Lebanon. But I'm not sure till now that Prime Minister Mikati and his cabinet will be capable of just saying that we do not want this protocol anymore, we cannot cooperate anymore. There are international resolutions that Lebanon has accepted. They cannot cancel it easily, even if they go to the parliament. The parliament now is 60 are still loyal to the previous majority, to the March 14th alliance, and there are 68 in the new majority, let's say.
So it's
but
a
I'm
thin
not
majority.
sure. Yeah, but I'm not sure even these 68 will vote in the same way when it comes to canceling the tribunal or the cooperation, I mean, with the tribunal. In addition, the funds is not anymore a problem. Lebanon already paid part of the funds. They still have to pay twice. There were American donations, French and British, and even there could be symbolically, not in a legal sense, Lebanese campaigns to donate, because at least half of the Lebanese population, and in fact, according to the elections of 2009, more than half of the Lebanese population is with the tribunal. So it's not true that Lebanon can easily just cancel it without having internal tensions and internal sit-ins and petitions and 60 deputies writing to the UN saying that this new decision is imposed on the Lebanese government by Hezbollah. So issues are still very complicated.
Just quickly, do you think now the Western powers who have been very opposed to Hezbollah will now come to the conclusion that they have to deal with Hezbollah? Or will this create more tensions?
I have to remember that the European Unions don't see Hezbollah as a terrorist group. So
The United States does.
The United States does. So the question is, Hezbollah will continue or not is march toward more power and is march
Is this a first step?
Toward epuration, as Majid said, mainly among what we call the the internal security forces, which are the Sunni pro-Hariri stronghold in the security forces. That will be the main challenge in the future. But Hezbollah, we say Hezbollah are in control of Lebanon this morning. No, it's not true. And Hezbollah is weak because if during the recent month Hezbollah was so nervous, it's because they know that they will be indicted. So for them, it's a very big shadow upon their head, because they are responsible in a way or others of the assassination of Rafik Hariri. They know that. So they are in a kind of position of being strong on the right hand, but being weak on the left hand. And they'll have to deal with these two issues.
Okay, 2 words.
Yes, let us say
Three,
that
maybe.
in Lebanon, usually, till now at least, balance of power has always been a temporary matter. And that sometimes the strength of one group that has a certain confessional connotation is also a weakness in the whole Lebanese game, due to the fact that there are lots of communities and confessions that will not accept to be ruled by one single group. It has never been the case, at least in contemporary history in Lebanon. All those who tried to monopolize power ended by being defeated. And I think Hezbollah is not learning from previous lessons, regardless of the excess of power it has actually.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Obviously, a topic that we'll be coming back to here on France 24. Thank you very much to both of you, and thank you for watching Talking Points on France 24. Stay tuned for more news.